Welcome to Professor Sky's Spam channel. If you know me from my other channel, Professor Sky's Record Reviews, you know that I am an academic who lends his academic viewpoint to new music. I want to expand what I'm doing here on YouTube to encompass other things, such as movies, books, culture, and YouTube itself. You see, I am an academic. I got my PhD in 17th century French literature from the University of California, Santa Barbara, okay? That's like really what I do. It's not some affect that I put on. And I can see clearly enough, or I can predict with some certainty, that in the future, 5 years, 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, YouTube is going to be one of, if not the most studied thing from our current civilization, okay? Where we are, the spirit of our times, or as the Germans call it, the zeitgeist, is right here on YouTube. We don't need to go to the movies. We don't need to watch TV. It is all being expressed clearly and directly by people as we are alive. Now listen, I don't have enough time to publish properly in my own field of 17th century French literature, okay? I don't have time to be the guy that writes the books, that writes the articles, which I'm sure are being written now as well, about this moment, about early YouTube. I'm not ready to start early YouTube studies, but I am going to help people out in the future who do. You, I'm speaking to, future academic, who is going to quote me in some paper that will be read more than anything that I ever wrote about Corneille or Molière. I'm writing for you. I'm speaking for you. And I'm going to start off with the YouTuber who I think may be the most important YouTuber. This is the beginning of my series, Blank is a Good YouTuber. And I'm going to start with videogamedunkey. I'm not going to help you by telling you his real name. I don't know his real name. I don't know where he lives. I know he's married. I don't know anything about his wife. I don't know if he has kids. I don't know what his parents are like. But I can tell you, he is perhaps the best observer and participant in the most dominant category of YouTube as of 2021. The most dominant category that has been on YouTube for the past couple of decades is, of course, video games. So much of this series, Oh Future Academic, is going to be dedicated to the video game space. Politics, culture, it is all passing through video games. Sexuality, race, class, it is all passing through video games. And I can tell you right now, as an academic, I talk to my academic friends, and they all kind of go, nobody reads anymore. Nobody reads anymore. Yeah, well, you aren't reading what's happening. A lot of great discourse. Everything that was happening in books, everything that was happening in magazines, in person, is happening here on YouTube. And I want to start with Dunkey for a reason. I think he does it better than anybody else does it. But he does it in a way that is equally smart and entertaining. In general, I would say that the closest we could compare videogamedunkey to any other sort of pre-existing character, I would say is something like the recently deceased Norm Macdonald or Bill Murray. Somebody who is cool, aloof, with an odd sweetness to him. Like a kind of like cool funny where you feel like you don't want to meet him, not because it'd be disappointing, but because you know that like you wouldn't quite get it, you know? He's not someone who would always be on and you'd be sort of expectant and just that kind of aloof coolness. I used to spend a lot of time lamenting the fact that my students don't watch The Simpsons, okay? It's stupid, you know? You think everyone has to do what you did, right? You don't listen to Nirvana and like The Simpsons, but it's true. I'm a Generation X boomer, right? So when you have comedians like videogamedunkey on the YouTube platform, it makes me realize there is hope. It is comedy, and I don't say this lightly, at the level of The Simpsons, at the level of Arrested Development. It's just in a different format, a different media. I'm not going to start talking about McLuhan. I could, I'm not going to. I'll save that for you, future academic. What is it that makes videogamedunkey so good? It's simple, but I'll go into detail anyway. Funny, and smart. What makes him funny is his comedic timing, his voice control, and his wordplay and his manipulation of the English language. What makes him smart is his mastery of satire, which of course is also funny, and his impeccably good taste. You mix those together and you have what I believe to be the best YouTuber. Now I should tell you, how did I get introduced to Video Game Dunkey? I'm 44 years old. I must have been 38 when I first saw Dunkey. His primary audience is like 20-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 17-year-olds. Still this day, every once in a while, I will reference Dunkey casually in front of one of my students or in front of one of my son's friends, and they'll be like, oh, "You know Dunkey?" Yeah. Well, I know because of a good friend of mine, Stella, who's the daughter of a woman who I was dating. And at the time, she was in high school, and I was just trying to understand what was it that she liked. Because I knew she was smart and funny and with it, but like, how did she get that way without The Simpsons, And so she showed me this video, and I'm going to include links to this all in the comment section, okay? If you're new to Dunkey, seriously, you're welcome. If not, revisit these videos with me. Because one of the great things about Dunkey? You can watch his videos over and over again, and you're never tired of them. So the first video I ever saw was essentially what Dunkey is able to do is there's a phenomena on YouTube called playthroughs, right? In which you watch people play a video game. As somebody over the age of 20, this was like the weirdest thing I ever heard. Why would anybody do that? The answer is that it's awesome. It's very fun. And Dunkey amazingly edits and comments on the video games that he's playing. And he does it in such a way that he allows this comedic genius, and I don't use that term lightly. Listen, time will have proven me right. By the time you're watching this, you're going to go, of course everybody knows that Dunkey was a genius. Everybody's always known that. Well, I'm probably not the first person to say it, but you don't hear it as often as I think you should. The first video game I ever saw Dunkey play was, let me see if I can find the title, Bloodborne. Sorry, there's someone upstairs. Oh yeah, just like my normal channel, I don't edit. One take, no script, just some notes. That's my style. You don't like it? I apologize. I actually do apologize, but there you go. The game was called Bloodborne, which is a game I have never played, I have never seen. Based on the footage I saw, I have no interest in playing it. It's all like blood and monsters and creatures, and it looks really, really difficult. But there's this one moment that displays this comedic timing, this voice control, this play, where he's trying to win this game and he keeps losing and he keeps dying in all these hilarious ways, and he's very self-effacing, and he's got this great rhythm going in this whole video. And at a certain point he's like, oh, but I've got this new move. And the new move is just taking his overcoat and going, whoosh, so he walks up to this like nest of monsters and just goes, hey guys, check out my new move. Whoosh. And he instantly dies. When I heard him say, check out my new move, I realized he was capable of doing what The Simpsons were capable of doing. Infiltrating my vocabulary, the way I think, the way I speak, the way I think things are funny. That day 4 years ago, whenever it was that I first saw a Dunkey video, I've been saying, hey guys, check out my new move. And it doesn't matter if I'm practicing Serbian with my wife. Hey guys, check out my new verb. And then I misconjugate it, He's able to incarnate the overconfidence, the frustration, the combination of where overconfidence meets disappointment turns into frustration to comic effect all throughout all of his video game commentary. And it was through this that I understood why people watched playthroughs at all. Another good exemplary video is his video on the video game Rocket League, which I had no interest in playing until I saw this video, and then I bought the game. It's pretty fun. He does a couple things on here. One, that whole thing I'm talking about, the overconfidence leading to disappointment, it is a perfect example of that. But his ability to come up with these funny sentences, these funny expressions. So at one point, he gets all excited to do something, right? And he announces what he's going to do. And these are his exact words. It's the downtown Dunkaroni. One second, my nose itches. I'm not gonna edit that out. You ready? I'm gonna start over again. The Downtown Dunkaroni 3-cheese Bronco Dick Surprise Wonderman's Hellshot from Outer Space. I don't know how he put all those words together. 3-cheese Bronco Dick Surprise is such a beautiful jazz hip-hop delivery. Just how Downtown Dunkaroni 3-cheese Bronco Dick Surprise Wonderman's Hellshot from Outer Space is just a perfectly delivered line. So funny. But the whole time there's this other layer. Because all throughout this video, he's trying to make it into some online team of players of this game, Team Icon. And so while he's doing this playthrough, and after he says he's going to make the Dunkaroni shot, he misses the shot, right? That's always the joke, is that he never actually does it well. It becomes this amazing satire of how people have some kind of hierarchy online, right? The importance of status. And his whole goal is to get into this team, which I suppose is some team in Rocket League, like some group of players from across the country or across the world who are really good. And he just keeps saying how he's in the team when he's not. And people just keep getting angrier and angrier at him for not doing the things that he says he's doing. And he's able to deflate that sense of ego, to highlight that sense of ego, to play it up while also tearing it down. It's just wonderful. In a similar way, his video on Mario Kart, a game which I do play a lot, so I wanted to include this on here as well. His video on Mario Kart is perfect because the simplicity of some of his jokes. Like the way he plays with language where he says, time for my shortcut time, okay? Time for my shortcut time. And then when he fails to do the shortcut, he just says 2 syllables, okay. And just that play, just the build up, time for my shortcut time. Okay, it's that rhythm and that beauty. Another line that I end up saying all the time when I fail at something. I was just cleaning up the garage, and I had to get this cooler to the top shelf. And instead of getting a ladder, I kept throwing it up there. And when I missed, and when it fell down, and when the door slammed on my fingers, I went, okay. Like it's that much in my head. So the frustration, the joy of frustration, the joy of gaming, he has a seemingly endless stream of these play on words, bizarre sentences, non sequiturs, dude, that's so dude of you, just his ability to play, which then ultimately leads into one of my favorite things that he does. One of the simplest things he does, which is featured on this t-shirt behind me, which I bought for my son for Christmas a couple years ago. The way he just plays with his own name. Just the name videogamedunkey instead of Donkey. The way he changes his name to Donsley and Dunbo and Dunsley. It does help, I believe, because this is my whole thing, right? Like I'm obsessed with humor. Because humor and intelligence, you can basically tell where civilization is by its humor, right? Because humor is primarily... Right, humor is not emotion, humor is intelligence. That's the tricky thing about humor. People think it's emotion. It's not. It's intelligence. If you ever want to read the works of Henri Bergson, he's a French. I'll include a link to his essay on laughter, which I think would be well applied, you academic in the future. I think you could do a good essay all about Bergson and Dunkey. I think it'd go quite well. So when we see like this way of playing with language, of breaking down words, I think it's a positive sign. Right? It's not fart humor, right? It's not just cruelty. It's slightly bizarre. You have to sort of get it. A lot of Dunkey's jokes are jokes in which the joke is that there isn't really a joke there. You don't, when he calls himself Donsley, it's funny, but it's not funny because you know what Donsley means. It's funny because Donsley is funny. Outside of video games, he's also, I would say, quite competent at making interesting and funny videos. He has a prank call video, which I would put up there as, I'm going to say it, the best prank call of all time. The best prank call compilation of all time. I have listened to every single second of Jerky Boys, and I love Jerky Boys. I've listened to a lot of Longmont Potion Castle. But this, like 6 or 7 minute prank call where he's mostly just calling pizza places and video game stores is filled with that kind of joy and kind of impish, devilish, hilarious wordplay and it's just so good. Obviously, his parody of Kanye West merchandise is amazing. Stella, a couple years later, would make me this sweatshirt, which I feature on my channel quite often, which is a recreation of the merchandise that Dunkey pretended to make. When we talk about what makes Dunkey so good, the main thing I want to come back to is satire. Right? So satire, if you don't know, basically is when you imitate something and you exaggerate some quality of that thing in order to mock it. He is truly a master of satire, to the point where, as a sort of postmodernist, right, as someone who's kind of doing meta commentary, when you're watching his videos where he's playing Mario Kart, he's both making a video about Mario Kart, then also making a video about other people making videos about Mario Kart. He's always on that other level, right? And this reached its pinnacle, where I implore you, future academic, December 2020, Video Game Dunkey's material is some of, if not the best, YouTube content I have ever seen. In it, December 2020, he makes one video that's called I'm Done Making Good Videos, in which he talks about the fact that his video channel, although he's wildly successful, he doesn't get that many views. He talks about the sort of artistic compromise and about how people who make much worse videos have 10 times the amount of views that he does in a month. 200 million instead of 25 million, which is what he gets. So in order to create this satire, he's able to outline this whole thing, and for me, as a minor YouTube creator, it helps me to see the kinds of problems I can hope to have in the future, right? Where you're that famous and that big, but you still realize you're nothing compared to these bozos who are making garbage, right? So in the satire moment, he explains how he's going to sell out, right? And he sells this idea of selling out so well. He talks about this reaction, how he's going to do 7 days, he's going to do daily videos, because everyone who's big does daily videos, because it's all about content. How he's going to learn how to better market to kids. How he's going to get an editor, because otherwise he always does things all by himself. About outside marketing, all of this, all these things that corrupt art. He's really talking about the art of YouTube. And going back to this concept of Dunkey as the best of YouTube, at least the best of sort of non-political, non-socially, a non-social commentator YouTuber. Definitely the best of the video game YouTubers. Like, it's art. It is art what he does. And in this video, and the following like 5 or 6 videos, he's able to break down how YouTube fights against art. How it incentivizes content instead of creativity, okay? And he does it in such a perfect way that this is the problem for you, future YouTuber, YouTube academic. It's going to be really hard for you to understand how funny this is. Hopefully I can help you. Monday, he says, is going to be Drama Mondays. There are so many YouTube channels about drama, and the drama is nothing. The drama is some rich nobody who has no talent fighting with some other rich nobody who has no talent. And when they fight with each other, enough 7-year-olds click on the videos that each of those nobodies gets richer. It's the end of art. And he's talking about how he's going to do Drama Mondays. Tuesday will be based on the video game Among Us Tuesday. It's hard, even in 2021, to remember how important Among Us was as a video game. I think you, academic in the future, will have already read the articles about how Among Us was essentially the only game both about and during COVID. It's about who is sick and who will get other people sick, who will kill other people with their sickness. A game that is popular because you can play it inside your room and you don't have to go outside or talk to any other people, right? Among Us was huge. Minecraft Wednesdays, making fun of the fact that so much of this content is for children. Children like Minecraft. And then Among Us Thursdays, talking about the repetitive, boring nature of these wildly popular channels that are 10 times as popular as Dunkey. Reaction Friday. Now, Bo Burnham, obviously, future academic, you've read all of the books about Bo Burnham's amazing content, and Bo Burnham's an amazing genius, wonderful, smart boy, of course. Of course, Bo Burnham's video about reaction videos is super good. I don't think it's better than Dunkey's work, but it's an interesting comment about the way that we are now at the point in which watching people react to something is as interesting, if not more interesting, than watching the thing itself. Minecraft Saturday and Among Us Sunday. The amazing repetition. How he's going to take away his essays, away his work on other things, and just focus on these elements. And at the end, where it normally says more Dunkey, more Donsley, more Dinbo, more Dum Dum, it says more content. And this highlights the problem, future academic study of YouTube. Is there a future for YouTube where creativity is constantly being converted into content? You know, when people like my videos on my other channel, I like it when they say that I like your content, but I'd much preferred if they said I like your videos, you know, or I like your opinions, or I like the way you express yourself, right? Definitely don't put in the comments to this section nice content. That's how I get you to engage. Subscribe and like and the garbage, you know. Don't say nice content, bro. And then what Dunkey did, and this is what you have to study. This is your work as an academic, is watch the videos he made after. Because he actually kept to the schedule for like a couple weeks. And the videos he does about Among Us, about drama, are so pitch perfect satire. Pitch perfect. To the point where in the future, these videos might not exist, but we will at least have Dunkey's rendition of them. To the point like where, you know how sometimes you'll listen to a radio and there'll be a commercial that makes fun of radio soap operas? I've never heard a radio soap opera in my life. I've never walked into an elevator and heard elevator music in my life. But I've heard satires of elevator music. I've heard satires of radio soap operas. It could be, hopefully, this is all that's left of reaction, of Among Us style videos, of drama style videos. It is perfect satire. As a final note about this intelligence, he also just happens to be somebody with really good taste. So if you watch any of the other videos I've put up so far on this channel, I usually do them in my office. And you will see in my office, I am a professor of French. Jacques Tati is one of my favorite directors, and Playtime has been one of my favorite movies ever since I saw it when they put it back out again on the big screen in France in like 2002. I think 2002 is when they re-released it. So behind me, in my other videos, you will see I have a Playtime poster. He got 2.5 million people to watch him describe to you why Jacques Tati is a genius. I cannot tell you the joy that brought me. That he took his power, his influence, to teach people who just want to hear him talk about video games and say downtown Bronco Dick Decaroni, right? And he took all that influence to share great art. Playtime deserves to be as loved and respected as Blues Brothers, as Vacation, as any other comedy movie. It just isn't because it's too smart and it's too French. That's just a small example of the kind of intelligence that's going on behind there. Behind all the goofy jokes, behind his self-effacing humor, behind the way he sort of presents himself as this kind of like slumped over guy who's just kind of like not too cool, but like too embarrassed about how cool he is. I don't know how to phrase it. Behind all that, there's all this taste and intelligence as well. So there's my video. I hope that you can use this. I hope you can cite me in the future, you know, because I'm going to be making a video like this probably every month, you know. Please tell me in the comments who I should do next, or who I should eventually do. I mean, I know who I'm doing next, but I don't know who I'm doing after that, so why don't you tell me then, okay? And I don't know if this is a good idea. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this. As of now, I have 6 subscribers here and 22,000 subscribers on my other channel, so hopefully I can drag some over here and see me tomorrow for Minecraft Wednesday. All right. Until next time, I don't know how I end these videos. I end them always the same, both channels. Oh, and also, just so you know, I do have a Patreon. These people are not supporting this channel yet. They don't know about this channel. This is a secret channel, but they support me in general. So I take all the money they give me and I buy music with it because I don't need the money. I have a good job, but I like buying music. I don't have enough money to buy all the music I want to buy, so they help me do that. All right. Until next time, There's the Dunkey.